Yo YouTube, GK's back with another roundup event video. I do these all of the time and they don't do too well on the channel, but I mean for posterity and some opinions and seeing new games and events, especially Jeff Keighley ones, I do like to cover them. So thanks for watching this. I kind of broke this down into 3 categories for the games that are on my top list. There are quite a few. I'm going to talk a little bit about each of them, and that's going to kind of be it. The event itself was good. It wasn't like great. It wasn't really bad. I will say that there was something missing. I'm not exactly sure what that was. I guess if I had to pick, it would be the lack of AAA titles and reveals. Even though I know this event is kind of geared towards getting exposure to games that normally wouldn't get the stage to shine in, like that PlayStation event from last year, I still really do think that that event showed us the gaming landscape for the next few years, let's say, and not a single event since then has surpassed that in terms of the sheer amount of games revealed and shown to be in the works. But that doesn't mean that there weren't some hidden gems in this Gamescom 2021 that I do want to share with you. So if you do like the video, let me know. And disclaimer, this is my top picks.
Yo, it's the Grown Kid Talk Show. Yo, it's the Grown Kid Talk Show. Yo, Grown Kid Talk Show. Yo, it's the Grown Kid Talk Show.
To start off with the show itself, Jeff Keighley once again is our main figurehead in gaming, and shouts out to him. He always has inside information that he either decides to share or doesn't share, brings on those musical acts and guests. I do think that the stage of these kind of gaming events is really lacking the personality of the ones in the past because there's no fans there. Fans have not been allowed to participate in the activities and what these events are really meant for, and that's starting to become very apparent. I think Gamescom hopefully will be the last kind of event we have like this. I think moving into 2022, things should be a lot better worldwide. Really get hyped about a certain game or franchise because these games are meant to be shown off to investors and to fans and show that they're worth investing in, whether it be monetarily with a pre-order or whether it be with time invested in learning about the game before you go and play it. Without those people there, it's a little bit harder to do, and I think Gamescom felt that this year, especially with the lack of titles overall. But this is not a shot to Jeff Keighley and the lady who was also there. They did a great job in basically announcing the show one night live, as well as the people who did the pre-show and the future game show. This was a long event. It spanned a few days, and I really did want the dust to settle and see what people kind of were saying and get the final tally on all of the games shown and what were really my picks. So that's why this video is a little bit later than I wanted it to be, but I still left feeling like I've seen all of this. And the big star of the event, in my opinion, was the Souls-like. I think this was the Gamescom for the Souls-like. I am a Souls junkie, and we got plenty to be excited about in that genre. We're gonna start off with the 4 AAAs. Yeah, only really 4 AAAs I'm personally excited about, and one of them was Horizon 2. We did get some unfortunate news that the game is going to be delayed, but I do think that this delay is worthwhile because we do want to see it fully maximize the capabilities of the PlayStation 5. It is an exclusive, which again is another boon to Sony in this console war that doesn't really exist. Horizon, unlike some other companies where they're charging $500 to play a beta of an MMO, they're asking for tons and tons pre-order money up front, like The Last of Us 2, to get delayed over and over and over again. Horizon Forbidden West Horizon 2 gets the pass on this because it is well worth it. And speaking of The Last of Us Part 2, do you guys want a video on where multiplayer factions is and the drama kind of surrounding that? Let me know down in the comments. The second game, Far Cry 6, more was shown, a story trailer. I'm really excited for Far Cry 6. I played Far Cry 4. I actually did enjoy it, but it wasn't that good, even though it is one of the better ones in recent memory for the Far Cry franchise. But Far Cry 6 looks to be taking it to another level. The attention to detail is immaculate with this one. I think the voice act and the motion capture is going to be crazy good, and this is what I kind of want out of next gen. I want you to grab the Norman Reeduses and put them there so we can see superior game acting, and I just love this kind of trend. Speaking of Norman Reedus, Death Stranding Director's Cut, one of my personal favorites, and in my opinion should have won Game of the Year over Sekiro, that Dark Souls clone. Got more information showed, and when I say information, it was a whole boatload of new things. This is the quintessential way to play Death Stranding. I loved it. I platted it. I did every mission on S rank except for like 3, and it still weighs on my mind. I want to go back and do that because I loved Death Stranding so much. The one thing that we didn't see in this trailer was the added story elements that you know we're going to get with a Kojima game. There were a few hints here and there, but they mainly showed mechanics and other like side activities in the game and new items as such, which is a big boon to the game. Though I do think some of the items might take away the use for like the rope and the ladder, which I thought was very much a staple and core to the game mechanically that I loved so much. But I will be getting this if I can get a PlayStation 5, because we don't know if they exist anywhere in the world. Don't know how to get one, still can't. People like me and you, regular people, but that's besides the point. I cannot wait for this. I'm super excited, as well as the hints at Hideo Kojima's newest game, which has been kept very under wraps, and we don't really know what that is, but he's already talking about it, so let's go. And Elden Ring, gameplay dropped the same week as Gamescom, so I'm kind of throwing it in here. Cannot wait for this. I will say, however, from what I'm hearing from people who got to see the game and even play it, that it is very similar to Dark Souls 3. That is something I didn't want to hear. I wanted something fresh, new, and innovative. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not excited for it. I am a Dark Souls junkie, but I can't help but feel like I'm not going to be exactly wowed as I was. That, at least for me, means I hope that the story is a lot better than a Dark Souls story. I know that's probably an unpopular opinion with a lot of Dark Souls fans, but I'm hoping the George R.R. Martin touch is really noticeable and provides a lot more to the game than we're used to in the Souls-like genre, especially from a From Software game, because I just don't think the gameplay is going to be as fresh as I personally wanted it to be. Everything I'm hearing is basically Dark Souls 3 2.0 open world. I've made a few Elden Ring specific videos, and I do talk about Elden Ring often. Go check my catalog out to see what I really think about it, the pitfalls of doing open world and losing the Dark Souls feel, but then the added bonus of being able to jump and explore. There's pros and cons to both. That doesn't mean I'm not hyped about it. I am excited. I just want this to be genre breaking, defining that new thing. Let's all hope that it is. One of the shining stars was the indie spotlight. There are a few here that I've seen and a few here that I haven't that I'm super excited about. One of those being Jet the Far Shore. This game is just really intriguing to me. We got to see more, and there's something about the overall aesthetic that is just so engrossing. I don't know, it's like a book, almost a novel, a really good animated series, something about it that I just can't place. Let me know what you think about Jet. It has almost that Nier Automata, that Nier replicant Nier feel to it that I just really like, and Jet gives me that vibe, except we're getting a little bit of a space thing, an exploration thing, and it just seems really cool to me. And speaking of cool, Replaced has some of the freshest camera angle work in a kind of pixelated game that I've ever really seen. It was one of the things that attracted me the most. The camera work, the angles, the perspective of what you're watching and how you're playing the game from which angle. I think it's very original and very enticing to get that kind of new feel to an 8-bit genre that, quite frankly, is oversaturated now because regular people can make these kinds of games on their own or with very small teams of like 3 or 4 people, and I love that. So I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to hear more because it was really just a teaser. Well, I guess another teaser to the teaser they already shown, but we did get a little bit more, and I am excited nonetheless. And for the highlight of the show are the Soulsborne titles. In particular, we have Dolmen. It's a space kind of Souls-like. Space and the Souls-like genre hasn't really been done. Now, I want to say something quintessential about talking about Souls-like. Not all Souls-likes are Souls-likes. I'm tired of really using that phrase, but it does get the point across, number one. But number two, there is a difference between Souls-like and action games. Do I believe Dolmen is a Souls-like? Of course I do. It is a Souls-like. Developers always say how they're inspired by Souls, and I would love to see the space genre done right. I believe there was one called Hellpoint, but that wasn't received too well, and there was like another one. But anyway, Dolmen looks cool. It has a nice vibe and aesthetic to it, and hopefully that comes true with this little combination of an indie Souls space-like. And why I said all of that Souls-like or not Souls-like is because Project Relic seems to be shaking that up a little bit. It looks a little bit more action Souls-like. Games Radar uses the term chaotic Souls, but this may have been missed by some of you because this was a Future Games showcase. So definitely check this out if you was a Souls junkie like I am, because this blew me away in what they were trying to do. It reminded me heavily of the new game that's coming out, I believe, next year, Lost Soul Aside. If you don't know what that is, I do have a video on that, but the visual style of it reminded me heavily of it. With the Dark Souls element added on to Project Relic, this could be a huge win for the genre overall, and I'm very excited about it. And perhaps one of the biggest Salt and Sacrifice, the sequel. I mean, look at the visual style of this, watch the trailer, you're gonna love it, just like a Hollow Knight almost. It is a cult kind of classic when you're talking about the Souls-likes. This franchise is going to kill it. I cannot wait. PlayStation and PC, because those are the consoles to be on. I cannot wait for this. I'm actually gonna go play the first one in this franchise because I never did get the chance, and seeing this inspired me to do so. Just like with Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, as well as A Plague Tale 2. I went and did Hellblade. I can't wait to do A Plague Tale, which I should have done. I covered that. PlayStation did us grimy, but I cannot wait to get into this world and get into it because I do love it. Hollow Knight was one of the best games I streamed on the channel, and I can't wait to get into streaming as soon as we get next gen. Salt and Sacrifice looks dope. And I do have two honorable mentions. Houses of Ashes. I do love myself a good story game that also mixes in the horror elements. Houses of Ashes does look like it's going to tell a fantastic, deep story with choices that we know we get from those type of games, as well as an overall world aesthetic that is interesting. I heard people saying that it's kind of played and kind of basic what they're doing, but I kind of disagree entirely. I really like the idea of it, and the execution we know is going to be there from Dark Pictures, so I'm really excited for Houses of Ashes, as well as this other Future Games showcase game, Madison. It's a tongue twister. It took me like 4 takes to get that out. It's an upcoming first-person psychological horror game coming to PC in 2021 and consoles in 2022 by Nosebleed Games. I didn't know much about this, but again, this is something you get from Gamescom. You get to see these kind of titles kind of flourish, and Madison is going to be dope in my opinion. We have that first-person psychological horror aspect, and then we have the third-person Dark Pictures game. I think it's a win-win overall. Those are my honorable mentions. And you might be saying, how can I talk about Gamescom 2021 and not mention Halo? I didn't talk about Halo is because I'm very consistent in that I do not think Halo, besides the heavy nostalgia, is going to be a good game. And I know that's not really what Halo fans want to hear because they're dying for a new Halo game. I want their game to be good, just like I want all the games I talk about to be good. But I also want to be real. And nostalgia to me is one of the biggest detractors from innovation and creativity. And unfortunately, I do not see anything creative in that Halo game. And I know the story is good for those hardcore fans, but unfortunately, casual fans have no freaking clue what's going on in Halo, and they won't in the next one. I understand that it's supposed to bring in new audiences and new fans, and I hope it does that for you. But to me, I do not see Halo being worth it. That's just my real talk. So let me know what you thought of Gamescom 2021. What games are you definitely going to play? What are you not? Did any of these here catch your eye and fancy in terms of the indies and the Souls likes? And was there a AAA title that you really wanted to see that you didn't? I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm the Grown Kid.